From the author of The No, one bestseller, The Silent Patient, and the smash hit The Guest List, a new psychological thriller, The Last Thing He Told Me, Hunter Among Animals Harding begins an investigation. He learns that his neighbor's animals are dying en masse. Their chickens have been found with their necks neatly broken, their pigs slaughtered, their horses mysteriously fallen and broken. When neighbor Patterson loses 17 chickens in a single night, Harding knows it's time to get to the bottom of this. But what he discovers will make his skin crawl. Harding's wife, Laura, has just given birth to their first child. Their lives are finally complete. He won't let some animal fanatic ruin it for them. Harding confronts his 3 nearest neighbors, the first to deny any wrongdoing. But the third neighbor, Timothy, breaks down and confesses. He admits to killing all the animals, but only because he had to. His world was always painful and confusing, but now he can't remember why. As the story unfolds, we learn that Timothy suffered abuse as a child. As a result, he developed psychopathic tendencies, which means he doesn't feel remorse or empathy. If he wants something, he takes it. Now retired and living alone, he began killing the animals for sport. Harding thinks that explains the cleanly executed killings, but not why the neighbor would confess. Timothy presses on, explaining that when he was 14, he killed one of the neighbor's children. Then another and another, he buried them in the garden. While this seems like a confession, there's something odd about it. Harding thinks back to what Timothy said about his kills being clean. He remembers the pig that was found dead in its pen. It hadn't bled much, almost as if its jugular vein had been severed with a surgical precision. A chill runs down his spine. These weren't wolves. This was someone with an intimate knowledge of animal anatomy, someone like a vet. He asks Timothy where he learned to be so precise with his kills, but the old man clams up. Harding realizes Timothy isn't going to confess, so he changes tactics. He lets the neighbor know that he's planning on telling the police about the missing kids. Suddenly, Timothy becomes very ill. Harding calls for an ambulance, but while they're waiting for it to arrive, Timothy slips him a note. In shaky handwriting, he writes, "I didn't kill the kids," then promptly passes out. Harding finds himself torn. On one hand, he believes the killings are connected. On the other, the neighbor seems genuinely ill. What does he do? He decides to trust his instincts. He calls the police and tells them what Timothy confessed. They take the old man away, along with the evidence from his house. Later, when the police are gone, Harding goes back to the house. He looks around, trying to piece together the puzzle. What was Timothy hiding? Why did he confess in the first place? Just then, he notices something strange. One of the curtains in the bedroom is slightly ajar. He pulls it back and sees a small wooden box in the closet. He opens it and finds a stack of photographs. The first shows a young woman holding a pair of baby shoes. On the back is a date, 2003. The next shows the same woman cradling a boy. On the back is another date, 2005. Finally, the last picture shows the woman holding a girl. On the back is the date, 2007. Harding feels sick. Could this be the missing kids? At that moment, Laura comes out of the bedroom. She'd been getting the spare room ready for her mother, who'll be staying over later in the week. She asks what's in the box. He hesitates, not wanting to upset his wife, but eventually shows her. Her reaction is immediate. She gasps and drops the box. The pictures were of her as a teenager. The kids in the photos are her younger siblings. Timothy wasn't a killer. He was her father. And he'd taken their lives because he couldn't cope with the pain of living. Now, if you want to hear more short stories like this one, stay tuned. And if you want to see more stories from the author, check out the playlist.